I will be very realistic and straightforward. Like if someone is creating something new and he is not somebody, he's just a nobody like me, then it's like a little bit difficult to raise funds. But luckily, in the day and age in which right now there are a lot of government schemes and government funding which is available. So just to give a background to the audience, we have raised like 50 lakhs from Startup India seed fund this year.
I'm back with another fantastic episode of Founder Spotlight series from Tracxn, where we invite startup founders to share their journey, insights, and any kind of advice for the youngsters who have startup dreams. Well, today we have Mr. Abhijeet Saxena, founder of Rupaya. Hi, Abhijeet. How are you doing today?
All good, all good.
Great. First of all, Abhijeet, wish you also a very great Happy New Year. Well, my name is Supayan, and I am heading the entire startup vertical over here. So let us get started with the entire interaction now. Okay. To start, what was the backstory behind finding my Rupaya? Let's understand that first.
Sure, definitely. So I was a banking and finance lawyer. So I've done my law from Nalsa University of Law. It's like one of the top law schools in the country, situated in Hyderabad. Then I worked in National Stock Exchange and then in some of the top law firms of the country as a banking and finance lawyer, like Shardul Amarchand, Khetan and Co. I worked in Delhi, Bangalore. So in respect of financial products, like there is lot of terms and conditions associated with them, which makes them inherently complex. So as a result, the thing is because of the information asymmetry, there is under optimal usage of financial products. So we are trying to solve that. Now it's a very large one. So we are like solving it like through a step-by-step approach. Right now we are focusing on credit card and debit card link discount. So to answer your question, as a banking and finance lawyer, I saw that there are complexities with financial products and people are not using it in the most optimal manner. So I thought like maybe I can make a change. And at that time, when I started, there was COVID and I moved back to my city and I was living in my hometown. So I to at like that is one motivation. The other motivation was like I wanted to start a company in my hometown, which is Jaipur, and again try to make a change in the destiny of my hometown also. So those two things were in my mind.
Great. What are you most excited about your company in the next 12 months from now?
Yeah, so just to give a basic background to the audience and to you, we have launched an app in this November. So what our app does is like you have to just enter the name of your debit card and credit card, and we will tell you if there are any kind of discounts linked to your credit card or debit card for, let's say, flights, movie tickets, bus tickets, groceries, food delivery, dine out. So let's say you have to book a flight to Delhi. So you can manually check all the discounts on Yatra, Ixigo, Kia Trip, Make My Trip, Go IB Go, so on and so forth. You will have access to around 10 to 20 cards in your family, like three, four debit cards. You will have maybe one credit card, your sibling, your wife, your parents, maybe. So instead of you doing all the permutation and combination, you can just type in the name of whatever debit card or credit card you have access to, and within instantaneously we will show. So instead of you spending 1 hour, we like shorten the time period to 1 minute or 2 minutes. And this is as I said, like this is not only for credit, not only for flights, but for movies, bus, grocery, dine out, electronics, clothing, everything. So what I am excited about, since we have launched our app, we are getting good response. Till now, we have gotten 20,000 downloads, and the speed of downloads keeps on increasing because of word of mouth. So we are hoping that by January we will have around 40,000. So the most exciting thing right now for us is like the rapid growth and expansion of our app, My Rupaya. At the same time, it's not only about the expansion of user base, we are adding some exciting features also. Like just to give you one example, we have launched this feature. It's called Airport Launch Finder. So, like, let's say you are at Delhi Airport or Bangalore Airport, and you want to figure out which of your debit cards or credit card will give you access to the Delhi Airport launch or the Bangalore Airport launch. So you can just type in the name of your debit card or credit card, and we will tell you if you have access to that airport launch. So there are many other AI powered features also which we are building, which I cannot disclose at this point of time, but everyone will see them in a month or two. So all these things, we are trying to be the most innovative company in India in the discount and shopping space. There is not much competition, to be honest, because AI is something which is recent, and when AI was initially launched, it used to hallucinate a lot. Now with time, the dependence, the credibility and the accuracy has increased. So all these things keep me excited. Basically, product innovation and user base expansion.
Got it, got it. Nice to hear that, Abhijit. I think the kind of downloads you people have got in a very short span of time, that is really, really exciting, I guess, right? Let's talk now a bit about your fundraising journey. Okay, I can see that you have very recently raised seed, right? And
Correct.
how did you start, and what was the trigger for you to go for seed round? Would love to hear from your side.
Sure. So I will be very realistic and straightforward. Like if someone is creating something new and he is not somebody, he's just a nobody like me, then it's like a little bit difficult to raise funds. So, but luckily in the day and age in which right now there are a lot of government schemes and government funding which is available. So just to give a background to the audience, we have raised like 50 lakhs from Startup India Seed Fund this year. Sorry, in the last year, in March 2025. And we have also received one small grant of 7.5 lakhs from the state government of Rajasthan. So I will tell you my experience that initially we tried to raise funding from VCs on the basis of our idea, and we were not successful. So then after like spending some 6 months on it, we completely shut that avenue. We didn't work on it. We didn't approach any VC after that. What we did was like we understood the kind of government schemes which are there. So there is one particular scheme which I just mentioned, Startup India Seed Fund, which is disbursed to a lot of Atal incubation centers in India. Atal incubation centers again are like basically accredited incubation centers which are chosen by the central government. Now, luckily, I am in Jaipur, and Jaipur has one of the highest number of Atal incubation centers. So luckily, all these things were working in our favor. So we applied to various Atal incubation centers through the government portal and through AIC JKLU, which is Atal Incubation Center JK Lakshmipati University. We got a funding of 30 lakhs through this government scheme. So, if you like to summarize my startup journey, my learning has been if you don't have a deep tech product, then no VC will fund you unless you have turned cash flow positive or profitable. Ultimately, we should be realistic. India is a developing country. We are not in Europe. We are not in US. There's a limited number of funds which are generally available for high risk investment, such as a startup. There is nothing good or bad about it. It is just the reality of life. So, since we are building a product which which although has AI and is a unique, but it's something which can be replicated by others also. So, for raising funds for these kind of products, especially when you are not from a IT IIM background, or if you were not a senior person in a successful startup, then it's kind of difficult. But the good thing is that there are a lot of government schemes, so you can raise certain amount of money, which can like last a year or two. And another good thing is because of AI, earlier the things for which you need to hire 5 to 6 engineers, you can do the same thing with 1 or 2 engineers. So that will reduce your burn rate also to a large extent. So that is like the crux of my startup journey, funding
Got
journey.
got it, got it. Thanks for this insight. Taking the same topic ahead, I would love to understand from your side, what do you feel is should be the psychology behind fundraising? Why to start? When to start? What should be a trigger point for any early stage co-founder, as per you?
That is a very good question. So ultimately, there is no one fit answer to this question. So one has to realize like what kind of business he is in. So like I am building an app which will be used by large number of people. So I am in the D2C space. If you are in the B2B space, like if you are catering to other businesses and you have built a startup, you have built a tech solution. In that case, you can just do cold email, and there are a lot of tools which will assist you with cold emails. And you can then, without fundraising, build your revenue. And once you have built some revenue, then if you want to expand at a super speed, you can probably do fundraise. But in my case, in B2C space, even if your solution is very good, you will need certain amount of money to do the marketing, and like Google Ads and Meta is the sleeping partner in every D2C business. And these sleeping partners have a very large appetite. So they will, so no matter like how good you are in marketing, you will need a lot of money to do the initial level of penetration in the market. So for that, fundraising will be required at the very beginning stage of the D2C. But again, these two are not the only two ways. There are other scenarios also. Like recently, I think there was, if you are a deep tech startup, like recently, I think there was a deep tech startup from Bits Pilani. They have developed a drone which cannot be detected by radar. So because of them being a deep tech startup, they got funding at the very initial stage. I think they haven't even incorporated the company before they had signed the term sheet and all that. So ultimately, one has to be realistic about what they are building, and then do the permutation and combination and take a decision whether they require funding at that particular stage or not.
Right, right. Thank you so much for this advice. Right. My last question to you will be for your day-to-day requirement of data in terms of data intelligence. A platform like Tracxn helpful for you, and in what way?
Yep. So there are two ways in which we are using Tracxn. One is for data intelligence. We are trying to understand how other companies are generating revenue. So company financials are available on Tracxn. And another point in data intelligence is we can understand at which particular point other startups are doing fundraising and at what valuation. So this helps us if we are sending our deck to someone, then we have to give a valuation. So on the basis of what other startups which are situated in a similar kind of space are doing, we can create a picture which will help us and will help the investor also in giving us a hard number in terms of valuation. So that is something which we do on a very regular basis. Another feature of Traction which we really like is that there's a large database of investors which is available, and Traction has an algorithm which will predict who will be interested in funding our startup. If my startup has created a profile, then Tracxn's algorithm will tell me that which particular investors may be interested in investing in me on the basis of their past investment and my profile. So that is also very useful. I will just tell you that we had emailed some 50 venture capital funds, and we got into a meeting with five of them, and we got a response from around 10 of them. So in percentage terms, that is pretty high. Normally, people expect 1% return. So I got like a 10% meeting and like more than I think 20% response. Some said that we will connect at a later stage and all that. But even from a cold email perspective, I find Traction very useful.
All right, Abhijeet. Thank you so much for those words. Right. And I think that's all from my side for today, right? And thank you so much for joining us. I wish I could
Thank
have extended this interview for some more time, but because of your busy schedule, I think we will have to cut short here. But thank you so much for this gesture, and we will meet you soon. Yeah, hopefully.
Definitely. And one last thing, we are available on Android and Apple App Store. Just type in My Rupaya and all your discount finding problems will be solved.
Thanks. That's my Rupaya for you guys. Right. Thank you so much. Closing in for today. Thanks a lot.